And this is also being recorded for future reference if you need to go back and do anything. So I'm going to fire up Word, have it pinned to my taskbar, which you can do with any application. You're going to do a start, go to the search for it, whatever program, and if you want it on your taskbar, just right click and it'll say pin to taskbar. And since I already have it pinned, I can choose to unpin it. You can always right click here and unpin things from the taskbar too. So since I have it pinned, I'm going to click on Word. It remembers previous documents, and there is my WD2 document waiting for me to complete. This is how far we got last time. I'm going to double click on my tab just so I can see a little bit more of my document. Remember my header I have up here. Remember to edit the header, you can just double click up there, edit the text, write a line, name, space, and then page number. Double click back in the normal text, MLA style heading, centered title, and some of the content. And we did a parenthetical reference, and we're going to do a few more of those today and finally use them to produce our works cited. So I'm going to double click just to have my ribbon back there with me visible and continue on this. Let's see, we would like to insert a footnote at the end of the word repetitive strain injuries, and we're going to put the footnote after the period. So footnote, how would I do that? Well, I go to references, insert footnote right there. It will automatically pop down to the bottom where the footnotes would go on this page. If I want an endnote at the end of my document, there's where I could have chosen to do an endnote. So let's go ahead and do insert footnote. It will automatically number them for me. Put a little graphical line there, separator, and in our footnote we type this text. I'll zoom in for you. According to Clark and Nadir, that's going to be probably a parenthetical reference eventually, tendonitis of the wrist, spelled that right, and carpal tunnel syndrome can lead to permanent physical damage if left untreated. Just like any time we reference a textbook or a source of information, it'd be good to have a citation. I would say in your college writing, if you're ever going to do any type of decent writing and like good grades on it, not be accused of plagiarism, throw in citations liberally. So here we're going to put a citation, and it's probably going to be to this reference of Clark and Nadir. That's not good enough. We need to put an official parenthetical reference. So I come over here to references, I go to insert citation, and perhaps I don't have the book with me right now. I just remember it's the Clark reference. So instead of filling in the source completely, I'm just going to put the placeholder there for now. And I'll just put the word Clark in the name of my placeholder. I'll just put Clark here. Clark. That will put a parenthetical reference referencing Clark, and if I ever want to come back and update that, I can either click on it and do the little arrow, edit source, or I can always go to my manage sources and edit it there as well. So now we put a period after the end of that sentence, and I think we got a problem here. I think it's the spacing of the text. We want the footnote style to also be double spaced. So how do I fix that? Well, our right click is our friend here. Let's right click on our footnote and go to style. We want to adjust the style of our footnote. So click on style, and we're going to modify the footnote style text by clicking the modify button. And we're going to change it to double space. And the double space is right there, I believe. Is that double space? Can I tell if it's double space? I guess the third one is double space. You'd think it would tell me when I hover over it. That is double space. And if I'm ever going to do anything else in there, I could mess with the format button. Make sure we got everything right. We double spaced it. Oh, and it is, oh, we also want it to be 12 point. So before we leave that, let's change that to 12 point. We're double spaced. And is there something special we're going to do here? Oh yes, we're going to go down to, make sure I got this right, in the format. Let's see, under special. So we want something special under format. Let's go format. It's not letting me get to format. There, double spaced, modify, format. Nothing I can do here. Let's see, they were going to do, I don't think there's anything, it's not letting me get there. Let's just click OK here. And let's try that modify again here. I'm in the footnote. We do see they go into double spaced. Did we get the oh, it didn't go. I accidentally chose 11 instead of 12. 12 point. Yep. Let's take a look here. You are on your OneDrive. What if we look somewhere other than your OneDrive? How about this PC? There. You have been saving it to your OneDrive? Try it. Let's see what else we do. How about nothing shows up under recent? Let's go back to our OneDrive. Do you remember being on your OneDrive last time? Let's see. You do see document 124. There's 24, 27. Do you remember what name you put in it? Was it WD2 in the name? Sorry, let's try it. Search for WD2. Saving it in your OneDrive. Now, were you on? And you were on this computer? You had saved it, right? Let's look in the documents folder. Rather than making me not trust OneDrive, you think OneDrive would be reliable. Log in. You were logged in as Alice members all the time. Did you? So you just had it saved to your OneDrive only? You hadn't uploaded any temporary copies? Let's go back to your OneDrive. And let's do searching through your folders there. These folders. Let's go to these folders. So that was a little assignment, right? Go back up. Let's try that one. Let's see. It's in. We're doing the open. Let's go to our file explorer here, and let's try. Let's see. So this was edited on the 12th. A thing called document. That's today's. Let's just search for all of these. So that's showing all your .docx files on your OneDrive. And that's the latest one. I guess what I can do, I can send you the one we have, because I know you were working on it. This search should have shown everything. There's all your files. Drawings, 27. Nothing on the 9th. Look at the 9th. I don't see anything to 9. Yeah. I'll email you what I have so far, so you can keep up with us here. That's hard to explain. All right, so let's see. We're in the Times New Roman style. We modified it, but it's not letting me go to the format paragraph. Modify, format. It does let me get to format paragraph. So format paragraph. What do they want us to do here? Underneath special, they want that to be changed to first line. There we go. So paragraph, we change the style. I will go ahead and email you a copy of this here and apply the change. And just a second here while I email a copy of this to Allison, that her document disappeared on her. I'm going to do a save. Oops. And Control S save. And I'm going to quick send you a copy. So I'm going to start email. AE leverance. Not to all these other leverances around. AE leverance. There you are. And attach that in the email. And now I have to go find it. All right, here comes an email for you. And I'll give you a little second to open that up. So, what did we do? We added a footnote. We were in the footnote. We right-clicked, style of that footnote, changed it to a 12-point double space with the paragraph format of special. Oh, why didn't that stick? Special, first line. I must not have hit the OK. OK, and OK. So there I see the first line is now a double space is applied. I must have forgot to hit apply. Now that footnote will have that style. And I believe all subsequent footnotes will have that style because I modified the footnote style. Now back to our regular document now that we got the footnote formatted. We're now remembering, or we found the book now that is going to go with this reference. Now I could come here and click the down arrow, edit the source. So now I can edit the source for that citation. Just clicking on it once, then the little down arrow, edit source, and now let's fill in the information we have about that source. It is going to be a book. So let's change it to a book so I have the correct suggestion of information I should put in the book. And the source of the book, we have an author, but we actually have multiple authors, and if we want to get it right, we're going to choose this little edit button right here. This is just a little helper to make sure I format the authors correctly. I don't find it terribly useful, but it may be handy occasionally, where now I put in the last name of my author, Clark Addison Lee, and I add that to my source. And now we can type another author of this book, Nadir. Remember, there was two people mentioned, Clark and Nadir, Aisha, and middle name Sati. And I add that to my source. Now all this little helper does for us now, when I click OK, is it properly formats Clark, Addison Lee, semicolon, Nadir, Aisha, Sati. I could have just typed that, remembering where to put semicolons, but this little editor helper helps me to do that correctly. So that's what that little helper is about. Now the title is Repetitive Strain Injuries. Remember, there's no spell checking in the edit source. Don't know why they don't have that. City, Boston, and the publisher, Lighthouse Publishing. And the medium is print. So we decide to reference a book source. If I ever realize I had the wrong type of source, I can always change this and it will give me the suggestions of what I need for that other type of source. But I can always come back to the book source. Remember, I can go to show all the fields in case I have extra information that I think might be useful to someone, or I can uncheck that and have it just show me what it expects for a full complete source when I finally do print out my works cited. Remember, this is not useful until I do my works cited, which we're eventually going to do for this document. So now that I'm at the bottom of my document, we'd like to make sure that citation shows up the way we would like. We can actually choose how this citation shows up. Again, I can click on it once, get the down arrow, and this time instead of edit source, I can edit citation. And I can choose how I want to show my citation. And in this case, we would like to enter the specific reference to the pages 65-66. We don't need to see the author and title. I can choose to suppress author and title. And now, when I click OK, it simply shows the page numbers. And I guess the reason for that is since I've already mentioned the author here, I don't need to put the author's name here. But so in the citation, I can say, don't show me the author or title, just show me the page numbers. And that's something that you have to negotiate with your instructor. If they're asking MLA, ask them about parenthetical citations. According to Microsoft, MLA styles allows you to have variation in your citation, whether or not you're showing different things, different parts of it. So even though Microsoft thinks this is MLA, always check with your instructor of what MLA document they are going going with. Now we're ready to put in our last paragraph of our little research paper. So we're ending there, and now we have our footnote. Starting a new paragraph, it remembers that my paragraph has a first line indent, and now we'll put in the rest of the content. People gonna worry about headphones now. Often listen to sounds. Keyboards and headphones are dangerous. They're computers. And we'll give a couple typos. Right click. Yep, I forgot the extra E and whereas. Checking my grammar. Looking good. And at this point in the book, they say, by the way, as you're typing, Microsoft Word tells you the number of words in your document. You can keep track. Have you met the requirement word count? And if I want more information, they show that you can click down there and modify what you see. You click on any of those and it shows you the exact statistics of your document just by clicking down here on that information bar. And then the last sentence of this paragraph, by using, and it's going to automatically page use those high quality devices Now, as I'm typing, if I still want to see what I was typed before, I can double click on the border between my two pages, and it will hide the white space between me and the previous paragraph, although it doesn't hide the space between that and the previous paragraph. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see my text here. Few typos. They put in a purposeful spelling error, and I can go back now and right click, fix any of my spelling errors. Right click, hearing. Now, they didn't mention a specific reference, but they're going to put in, I'm going to double click on my tab here just so you can see more of that text. We're going to enter another parenthetical citation by going to References, Insert Citation. And it's not one, it's additional source. And let's see here, they're just going to add the placeholder for now. Sanchez for the placeholder name. Remember, I can always go back and edit that later. And period. So I have already hidden white space. If I want to see my white space, double click, and I see this space between the pages with the header. Double click there, hide that white space. And now we're going to come back and edit that source. Click once and then the little arrow down. And now I can edit that Sanchez source. So I added it, messed around a little bit more. Now I'm coming back to edit the source. This source is a, what is it? It is a website. Suggested entries for websites. And let's put in the information that we have. The problem with websites, they often don't have this information, and you have to leave several of these blanks. Some of these, like Wikipedia sites, they give you the full citation information, sometimes at the bottom of the article. Name of the web page is Technology in the Hearing. Oh, capitalize your hearing. It's a title. Tab to 2021. Month of October. Abbreviated, day 1. And the year, are we skipping the year? Uh-oh. Year accessed was 2021. Not the year. 2021 is the year accessed. And I guess they don't have a actual year. The October was the month accessed, and 1 was the day accessed. And you will see that quite a bit on websites. They will not tell you the year of the information. And I think you're figuring out, as you gather information from the internet, the date of that information being created is very important. Many of your search engines give you the most recent information, but information on the internet grows old very quickly, especially when we're talking financial or critical day-by-day, daily changing information, like technology. Any technology page is older than 5 years old. It's like, I'm not even going to read that. Old stuff. Web for the medium. And now we have edited the Sanchez. Notice the placeholder name that we initially gave it is still sitting there. I could always change that if I decided something was wrong, but it's a good placeholder name. And let's see, are they going to ask us to suppress anything here? I click that. I remember I can always come out down here to edit citation, decide what to suppress. Notice I don't have a year or title being shown, so I don't have to worry about suppressing that, even though I can always edit source. And I see it does have a web page name but no title. Perhaps that's because the web page doesn't expect you to have a title displayed. Now I guess there is one more paragraph to do. We have that parenthetical. So now at this point, how many sources have we worked with? Well, I can always come to References, Manage Sources, and see that I have 3 reference sources so far in my research paper. The check mark means I actually have cited it, and the question mark is, well, I haven't put a placeholder yet, so it's been cited with a placeholder. Now let's put in our last paragraph, physical conditions. So remember, it's remembering that first line indent, physical conditions. Physical conditions associated with using technology. So they're concluding their paper, summarizing what they've talked about. have not mentioned eye strain from poor monitors, neck strain from poorly adjusted monitors. Plenty of other dangers of technology, let alone the social dangers of pretending that's the real world. Last paragraph, checking for any typos. I think we got it all right. That's the conclusion, summarizes what they've talked about. And now, all the work we've done to create sources, and as we created citations, now I can come and add my works cited. In this particular document, I don't know if it's an MLA thing or the instructor says the bibliography needs to be on a separate page. Now, don't be like most people. When you need to have a new page, to hit a bunch of new lines till you get to a new page. That's a horrible thing to do. Don't ever do that. If you need a new page, don't just hit enter 1,000 times till you get to a new page. That is what the rookies do. You know that you can insert a page break. Let's see if it's on the insert. There it is. There's an insert page break. If you want to do a more advanced break other than a page break, underneath layout, there are a few more types of breaks that you can insert. And as you work with them, you'll find out how useful they can be. If you're using multiple columns, you can put in a column break. If you want to start renumbering or change the formatting of your pages, you can insert section breaks to have pages become a different size for a while, or landscape for a while if you're doing drawings or something. But we're just going to insert a simple page break. The only way you know it's a page break is if you turn on formatting and you see, oh, I've inserted a page break there. Without that, you'll think that somebody just hit enter a bunch of times to cause you to go to a new page. But you know better. You're going to insert a page break. Now we have a new page. And let's insert then our bibliography. First thing we're going to do is choose normal for this text, which already was on normal. I'm going to enter works cited. I'm going to center that by either Control E or the center icon. And now I'll hit enter, and I want this left aligned. Control L will left align, or I can always use the little icon. And now I want to put in my works cited. Now that I've done the work, now it's time to let Microsoft do the work for me. I've done works cited, I have the sources. Now I come over to References, Bibliography, Insert Bibliography. Now I could have had it insert the title too, but I've already typed the title works cited. But I'm just going to, so all I need is the references, insert bibliography, and look at that beautiful bibliography entered for me by Microsoft. If I decide I needed a different style of bibliography, I could choose the different style, and it will put it in that, what Microsoft thinks is that style. And that's where the confusion often comes, is what they say is MLA may be what your instructor says MLA may be what Microsoft thinks is Chicago. Or I've heard Turabian has been close to the way some instructors have called it MLA, but it looks more like the Microsoft Turabian. So that's up to you to check with your instructor, is this the correct works cited format? But imagine if you have a lot of sources, you can do this all by hand, or as you write the paper, do your citations and let Microsoft give you a works cited. You can always convert this to text and make your own and customize it if it's still not quite coming out right. So works cited, now that you've done the work to keep your sources generated beautifully for you. So now we have our research paper pretty much completed. I can zoom out and see, yeah, page break. There's my 2 pages of content, MLA style, I'll turn off formatting marks, make sure it looks pretty. Looks pretty nice. But suppose we would like to make a few corrections. They would like to go through that. I'm going to do a Control S save, make sure it's saved as my research paper. And now I can come back and fix some things. Suppose I have a source and then realize there's a typo in it. They want to modify the, which one are they going to modify? They're going to modify the Zhao source. Let's go fix our source. We realize we have a something misnamed in there. Let's see what we've done wrong here. So I can go to References, Manage Sources, click on the Zhao and edit it. And they realize it's not monthly medical and review, it's monthly medical review. So I delete the word and, I click OK, and since I have made the changes, I have it in 2 places, I'm going to go ahead and save the change in both locations. And wait, the medical and review typo was still in there. Now I could close my document and reopen it, or up here underneath Works Cited, I can right-click Update Field, and it gets the updated change to my source. So I could close the document and reopen it, or right-click Update the bibliography. So a pretty cool ability to modify your sources, and it automatically updates the reference to that. If I had typed the author wrong, I believe it would also update all my parenthetical references to have the correct spelling there as well. Now in the book they talk about modifying or browsing through your pages, looking at the various views of it. We'd like to do one more thing. We have sources, and of course you can't ever have too many citations. They would like to put another citation when we talk about the reference to the mouse and keyboard, and realize that that was also mentioned in another document by Clark and Nadir. So let's add right here after the word keyboard in the second paragraph, put our little insertion point right there before the period, and let's insert a citation to an existing source. I don't have to have a new source. I remember that, oh, I should probably reference Clark and Nadir here as well. So I click on that, and it gives me immediately a properly formatted parenthetical reference. So again, if you're doing research papers, come back and realize, oh yeah, I'm going to reference that. The source you already have in your document, it'll fill in a parenthetical reference for you. My bibliography doesn't need to change, but I have plenty more citations to avoid someone accusing me of plagiarism and make it look nice and professional. So we added Clark and Nadir, and I think we're just about done. They realize they're sounding a little too intellectual. They would like to change the word auditory to listening. Instead of auditory devices, listening devices. Well, I can do a find and replace even without selecting that word. I can go to, where's my find and replace? I had it here somewhere. Is it home? Here we go. Up here under home, replace. I can find auditory, the word auditory. I gotta spell it right. And then replace it with listening. If I want to check the changes that it's making as I want to do this, I can click Find Next, and then Replace. Do another Find Next. Oh, it automatically finds the next one. Yes, Replace. and then finish. So replace it in 2 places. I like having the find next so I can check what it's doing. If I'm sure about it, I'll occasionally do the replace all, but usually I just do a find next to see the changes being made. So we replaced 2 texts with some listening, auditory with listening. They show how you can use the thesaurus. I'm going to skip that part. And we'd like to do a spell check before we're done. So let's go ahead and do a review and spell check. Way here over on the right. One of the first things we want to do, since we've been watching for red squigglies along the way, we don't have any spelling problems. Notice it does not go down into our sources. I don't think it will catch spelling errors in our bibliography. They discuss in the book regarding dictionaries and things. Let's add a comment. This is where, suppose someone gives you a document that they ask you to maybe review and make suggestions, or you're going to edit it and you want your teacher to know that you made the edits. Well, we can turn on track changes when we're ready to make sure that's turned on. Yeah, it's highlighted. I click track changes. Now, any changes I made, say add the word the, for the users of technology, will be highlighted in red. So your teacher is giving you your draft back, maybe mark things up. They want to see that you made the changes they were asking for. You can turn on track changes, and then any changes you made will be highlighted. You could print that out, or you could send it with track changes. Your instructor could turn off showing the markup and to accept all the changes that were made in the document. And it will accept them and turn off the highlighting. So tracking changes is a nice thing to do. I can turn it on anytime and I can turn it off anytime, so it no longer shows me in red the changes I'm making. So when you're revising documents, tracking changes can be very helpful. These are all extra little pieces of information for you. We have the Word 2 project done by now. Making sure we haven't missed any super important things here. Spell checking, turning on and off white space. Remember, double clicking on the white space. I can hide that. Doesn't remove it. And remember, if I ever want to edit the footer, I can just double click in the footer and change that. Let's see. Come back to normal text. Double click to hide the white space. There we go. I'd actually double clicked and entered the footer. If you ever want to edit the header or footer, double click, edit the header, and you're also in footer editing. And let's go ahead and, well, I guess we don't have to put anything in the footer, but you will on the midterm be expected to put something in the footer, such as CS 101 SP 2024. Know how to edit the header or footer, and it'll show up gray on every page. And with that, this research document is completed. It wasn't a super detailed, but giving you a few pointers. The main thing is knowing this references pages, using footnotes, endnotes. You can edit endnotes wherever you are. And remember, footnotes are not the same as endnote. Just for fun here, I'm going to add an endnote just to see where it shows up. Let's see, I'll put a endnote. Maybe I'll put an endnote here. Let's put a endnote after that sentence. If I put an endnote, and I'm just going to type in, this is an experimental endnote, just to see where they show up. Look at that. Endnotes show up at the end of your entire document, even after the works cited. So endnotes, I don't know how often you would ever use endnotes. It depends on, again, your instructor if they like endnotes. Most of the time it's footnotes and parenthetical citations. We'll stop there, save that document, and you have all this MLA style title, the content with some parenthetical references along the way, a footnote, header, footer, and then page break. Remember, it's better be a page break, not 10 lines. And then your works cited, generated by Microsoft Word. And you are done. Save that and upload it to your Schoology assignment. And then enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you are doing well in your courses. I hope this course is not particularly stressful. This is more, especially the spring semester, it's more getting the course in, maybe learning a few extra things that you hadn't used before, but getting more confident in using Microsoft Word. Everyone, when they say PC skills for a job, it's at least Microsoft Word. Excel, huge for PC skills, especially in employment. Presentation, maybe if you're doing presentations, but it's more Word and Excel. Access will put you a step above everybody else if you even know a little bit about the database portion. All right, I'll stop there. I will upload this.